All right. Today I want to give thanks and honor and glory to God, who woke me up this morning. I want to talk about my fourth step that I just started working on today, and how I decided to work on the fourth step. Well, yesterday I was going through a situation where I wasn't being praised for the work that I was doing and that I have been doing with my employers. And everyone else that don't do work, they were getting praised and getting their little bonuses and things like that. And I was getting upset. So I decided that I was just going to walk away and just not deal with this situation anymore or those people. So a couple of people came up to me and they asked me, what was wrong with me and how come I wasn't smiling. Because normally I'm always smiling all the time. So I told them, just kick rocks, leave me alone. I don't, I don't want to be bothered. And God really touched my heart as I was walking down the street towards the motor vehicle, and had me turn back around towards where I live. And I went back to where I live. And I went upstairs to my room, didn't even say anything to anybody, and I decided to read my Narcotics Anonymous book. And I read chapter 4. And it was talking about making a fearless and moral inventory of myself. And at first, I didn't understand what that meant. But then as I started reading, I started to realize that making a searching and fearless moral inventory of myself means that I must go backwards and I must find out what makes me tick, what's going on in my life, what makes me the man that I am today, and what makes me act out the way that I act out. So, as I was going through this step, I started writing a little journal, and from as far as I can remember, my emotions and my resentments. So I was talking about my resentments that I had against my pops, and how I felt growing up, and how I felt neglected half of the time. I felt miserable and I felt confused. And at that moment, I had came to some clarity on why I am who I am today, and why I strive for love so much. I won't get into details onto why it is the way it is, but all I can say is that as I was doing that fourth step, I started to realize that I try to buy people.
Don't say that, but
I try to do anything necessary to get love from someone, and
not family love.
not family love, but
Don't get them confused.
just having friendships. I'm not really. I mean, I can have friends. I know how to make friends, but to keep friends. See, a lot of friends that I've had in the past,
We were all
they
using each
they
other.
use me.
We were using each other. We were all using each other. And let's tell the truth.
Yeah.
In that
you're
living
right.
of life, we all use
We
each other.
all used each other.
That's right. And those are not real friends. And that's what makes you hungry.
Right.
That's what's making you hungry.
Right. Because
See?
I didn't have real friends, and it made me really hungry.
Exactly.
It made me really hungry to find friends and to have friends. And I just started to realize where my pattern started, and I'm extremely blessed and I'm grateful that today I can see where my downfalls are and fix them as much as possible with God's help, because I can't do anything without God's help, period. As soon as I turned my will and my life over to the care of God, as I understand Him, who is my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
No Christ here. That's the Roman Catholic shit that we've all been taught wrong.
I
Love you.
I decided to just to just put it in God's hands and in the Creator's hands, And you know,
it's funny that you brought that up. The whole page is on God today. It was. See, God is in control.
Yeah, God is in control, and I learned how to just, you know, He's helping me to control my temper as much as possible. You know, sometimes it takes a lot, you know, to just sit down and just evaluate the situations before you go out way out of control and make decisions that you will regret later on in life, and that can affect your future. And my future so far is going to be great if I stay on the path that I'm on as far as my sobriety and keeping it in a day. And I'm just like, you know, again, I'm just grateful and I'm happy. So for all of you, you know, who are suffering from different things in your life and you have no way to understand or have any understanding of it, I recommend that you evaluate yourself. You know, you sit yourself down and find out who you are and why you act the way you act, and maybe you'll get a little bit more clarity on your life. I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a doctor, but I'm getting a little bit more clarity on my own life, and I'm extremely happy. And with that, thank you.
Wait, finish. And so I can.
With that, thank you, and for listening, and stay blessed.
I like when you talk like that, you know, because that's where it's at, you know what I mean? That's where it's at. I got to send this text to the technical master. But anyhow, my best friend. That was my son, my oldest son. And, you know, it's good when the family gets together to stop drinking or whatever it is. You know, whatever it is, it's poison. It's just poison. It just breaks your body down. I'm not here to preach to anybody. I'm not. But this page is about
sharing your experience, strength, and hope.
No, this page is about, yeah, okay, but this page is definitely about identity.
Yes.
But part of your identity and being whole means to try not to fill yourself up with poisons such as alcohol and drugs. That's part of being whole. That's the only reason I'm allowing this on the page, because that is part of identity. It's part of something that happened so long ago where, you know, people just thought it was normal in their families. You know, it just carried on. You know, when a girl turns 16, her friends are drinking at her 16th party. When a boy turns 16, his father gives him a beer or whatever. I don't know, but it usually starts in the family. That's the only reason I'm letting this go through. You know, sometimes some people say, oh, not in my family. But yeah, in your family too. In most family, okay, I can't say that, but in most, 99% of the time, it starts in the family. Whether it's at the cousin's house, it maybe didn't happen from that parent, from you, but maybe from when you let the babysitter babysit. You don't know what happened while you were gone exactly 100%. Either way, it happens. You know, it doesn't always come from outside, from friends in school, not all the time. But it's just the fact that, I mean, you can't even look at TV without seeing commercials about people drinking and celebrating. It's always been part of the celebration. But where there's drugs, there's alcohol. Where there's alcohol, there's going to be drugs. Sooner or later, it's called progression. Peace, love, and light.